Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to Friday Night Live. And as always, I'm going to be here with you to see out the old day and to bring in. It's a bit bloody chilly in here, actually. Oh, it is. It genuinely is a bit chilly. Sod it, I'm going to put the heating on for half an hour. Bear with. Just need to take the edge off for half an hour before clambering into the old bed, darlings, because it really is a bit nippy up here on the moors in the Peak District National Park. And remember, as your grandmother would have told you, cast ne'er a clout till May be out. And May isn't out yet, is it? No, it's bleeding not. Gosh, I can certainly feel that. Well, what a day it's been. Lots of news today, darlings, for us to share and chew over, isn't there? Michael Gove has announced that he's stepping down, not standing in the forthcoming election. What else has happened today? Oh, that American guy who did the Super Size Me documentary that I've never seen but was nominated for an Oscar. He's kicked the bucket, bless him. Same age as me, complications from cancer. What else has happened today? What else has been in the news? The M11 has had a 6.5-hour tantric masturbation session. Somebody else was standing. Oh, yeah, Jeremy Corbyn, darlings, was told that he wasn't going to be elected by Labour to stand for election in his seat. So he has announced that he's going to stand as an independent. And consequently, the Labour Party have expelled him. Yes, the former leader has been expelled from the Labour Party. In food news, I had chow mein again this morning, this lunchtime rather. And I have to say, it was a slightly better effort than yesterday's. I got the ingredient ratio a bit better. I tweaked a couple of things. I added more spices. Now, yesterday I just added chilies. Well, today I added hot paprika, turmeric, ground coriander, and ground cumin. Just little bits, but it was enough to make the difference, darlings. Oh, yes, it really was. Oh. So there we are. And I'm sure some other news will come back to me. Let's see who we got. First cab off the rank is Peter P, who says evening all, followed quickly by Jimmy Quinn, good evening, Boaty and all. And then, wonderful, back with us, Ed Usher, who says ahoy, hoy, Boaty, and everybody, and evening to everyone. Sorry I've not been around. Please do not think of me as being rude. Barbara now knows about Angela and the young man from the pub. Oh, we didn't know about the young man from the pub. Bloody hell. Neil is here, Neil Gibbons, who we know and love as the Gibbon hater. Isn't it ironic? We love him, he hates Gibbons. Does that mean that we vicariously hate Gibbons? Or does some of our non-hatred for Gibbons perhaps even love and admiration? Perhaps some of that will creep into Neil's own psyche, and his feared hatred for the Gibbon population of this country and the world in general, perhaps it will become lessened, minimized, squidged down a bit. We shall see. Anyway, Neil says, hello from Wales. That's why star. Hello from Wales on the drive home. So I'll be listening in, but I hope everyone is okay and having a good day throughout the night. Well, safe journey, Neil, all the way back from Wales. Blimey. It's been quite stressful, says Ed Usher, since the passing of my old school buddy, John Horn, the sod. Anyways, hope you're well, and I'm looking forward to tuning in once again to your lovely show, young man. Ed, that's enormously kind, and condolences from me and everybody else on the sad passing of your old school friend. My God. Oh, that's a friendship that goes back a bit then, isn't it? Right, I've earned this. Cheers, darlings. Your very good health. Bottoms up. Clink if you are joining me in a beverage. And, you know, it's 20 to midnight. Why wouldn't you be having a beverage? Oh, gosh, that's nice. That is nice. Now I come to think about it, darlings, those have got to be two of the best moments. Oh, it's just doing the thing in my perky little tum tum. Oh, lovely. They've got to be two of the best moments of the day, haven't they? The first sips of the first coffee of the day, what a joy that is. And then that first guzzle of wine of an evening. Two wonderful bookends to start and end the day in the best way possible. Lovely. Sophie's with us, says, hi all, hi Boaty, how are you and how's your day been? I'm grand, Soph, hope you are too. And my day has been unremarkable, but not unpleasant. And, I will settle for that. I do hope dear Boaty has not had a breakdown on his way home to Windy Bottom in or over 623, that is, says Ed. I haven't, and it wouldn't have been possible because I've not been in the 623. Tonight, I went to work in Lewis Hamilton. I'm enjoying what might be a last couple of drives in him because there are a couple of people who are interested in buying him. And if they don't, or if they haven't bought him by Monday, Lewis Hamilton is going to the Yard of Dreams to spend some time with his uncle Paul. I haven't sold him, so give him a change of scenery. Mustard can have him for a bit and get him all over his channel, and maybe kind Uncle Mustard will have more joy in selling him. And equally, on the same basis, I will be coming back from the Yard of Dreams in a car that kind Uncle Mustard hasn't sold. So we'll give him a change of scenery, get him all over my channel. I'll give him the good old Boaty cleanup, and let's see if I can get him shifted. It'll be a little bit of movement, something a little bit different, and it's a car that I haven't even driven. So I'm quite looking forward to that. There we are. Barry Scrotter is with us and says, good evening, good Abend. I hear Boaty has a parking space reserved for a silver canoe. Has Mustard told you about it? Oh, there was a video out, wasn't there? I haven't had a chance to watch it. I've been quite busy today, what with one thing and another. So I take it that Mustard has. I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. I knew about it, obviously. Mustard very excitedly pinged me when it arrived in the yard and showed me, and I was told that I was to say nout to nobody, but presumably, Barry, having said that, it's all out there now. So yeah, we're going to be going canoeing on the lake, man. It's going to be awesome. Andrew Buttigieg is with us. Ivor Spotter Butty, of course. A very good evening, Boaty, and everyone in the chat. Matron is here. Oh, Matron. Hi, all, says Matron. Bad Books is here. Steve Colg is here. Good evening, all. The M11 is here. Happy Scampy Friday, says the M11. And good evening, Boaty. Well, good evening to you, Emils. Gosh, I wouldn't mind licking my scampi off your fries, I'm not going to lie. The mind boggles, doesn't it, my lovely? The mind boggles, and quite possibly other things would boggle as well. And Andrew greets the M11 in this fashion. Hello, Miss Scampy Fries, 1998. Hi, says Sherry, the lovely gotta be me. I'll be in and out like a dog at a fair, Sherry, like a dog at a fair. So, when are you going whitewater rafting, Bertie? Says Barry Scrotter. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Soon as possible. I can't wait. That'll cost me more money, says Jimmy Quinn. Oh, dear. I just thought that too, Jimmy, says Matron. What? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Never mind. Never mind. And the M11 says, evening, Spotty, and very good evening, everybody else too. Hope you've all had a lovely day and the weekend brings you good times. That's a lovely thought, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, am I right in thinking Julie Andrews has popped her clogs? I don't know. I didn't even know she was still alive. I have no news updates on Julie Andrews. The hills are alive with the sound of what's it? Oh, right, yeah. Morgan Spurlock, says Andrew, only 53. Yeah, that's the American chap who did the Super Size Me things. No news about Julie Andrews as far as I can see, says Matron. 78 Tory MPs stepping down so far, says Bad Books. Strong rumour that Mogg is going next. Really? Really? Blimey. It's ironic that Sunak visited the Titanic Museum in Belfast today. I don't know who's organising his junket, but he's making a right arse of it, is our Rishi, isn't he? I mean, given that the election proves to be a disaster, who thought it was a good idea to do a thing at the home of the Titanic? That is crazy. And they let him make that dreadful Welsh football gaff, and they organised the announcement in the pouring rain with Things Can Only Get Better playing. It's been a right cock-up, a right cock-up. Got the news on the telly here, says Andrew. Not a thing about Julie Andrews. Sophie is just waiting for Neil. The Ken Josie is here. Here we go, drunken mumbling once again. Well, never mind. Stop your mumbling and listen to me instead. Barry Scrotter says, it popped up somewhere, said she was 88. Could be fake news, though. Are you going to come back in the canoe, says Jimmy F500? No. Bad Book says, I'm from Seaton Carew, renamed Seaton Canoe, twinned with, what? Oh, twinned with Panama. After that silly twit Darwin faked his death in a canoe for insurance scam. Oh, God, yeah. Boaty is swapping the metro for the canoe, says Barry Scrotter, who has the same idea. Yes, he did talk about this in his live Read the Canoe, and mentioned that he'll take you for a spin in it. Yeah, we've been discussing it. Mustard's new 17-foot canoe. Boaty, get your eyes tested. You're struggling to see, says Jimmy F500. It's because the light is too dim. In proper light, my eyes are pretty much reasonably okay, but I really do suffer in this light now. What I should do, of course, is just make my display bigger. I think you can do that, can't you? Spicy meatball, says Andrew. I haven't had meatballs for a long time. Boo used to make really good meatballs. But I wouldn't mind trying those meatballs they do at IKEA with that, what's it called? Loganberry, Lingonberry? Sorry, I was thinking about Tagnuts and Winnets for some reason. Dangleberries. No, not dangleberries. Lingonberry jam or whatever it is. But here we are. In other food news, darlings, tonight there is no staff curry. We've all got a little bit addicted to these chicken wings that Neil and Sophie had on Monday. And that's what I've got. A slightly different marinade this time, a little bit spicier. I tried one at work. It was fabulous. So we've all got these, but I'm not having them tonight. They're there in Mr. Fridge, and I'm going to have mine tomorrow for lunch with some fresh salad, to which I'll add some of my own Mediterranean vinaigrette and a bit of naan bread. Naan and tandoori chicken goes together really well, I find. So tonight I'm going to have to eat what's here. I had staff curry last night, so I'm thinking I had it the night before last, but I hadn't had it for 2 or 3 weeks before that. So I'm going to have Chinese chicken curry again. It's a bit of a treat for me, to be honest. It's kind of my comfort food. It's such a nice thing to eat when you make it properly. I mean, don't get me wrong, get it from your local takeaway or Chinese restaurant. It's going to be awful. But mine is fan-dabby-dozy. It's really nice. What a comfort. With some nice fried rice. And fried rice is the easiest thing in the world to make, isn't it? And I just like a simple garlic and ginger fried rice. So just get your rice, make sure, cooked rice, obvs, make sure it's good and cold, and just get your wok, bang a little bit of oil in there, bang some ginger paste and garlic paste in there, chuck the rice in there, fry it, lovely, job's a good one. And then, have that with your Chinese chicken. I mean, it's a fabulous thing. It's a thing of great joy. That was the first thing that I've been doing that Chinese chicken curry for a long time now. Probably, God, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 20 years. I bet it's 20 years I've been making that. And I think it was the first thing that I sort of thought, I wonder if I could do that, because I never liked I did like the takeaway, but everything was disappointing about it. You had to go through the nose of saying, can I have it without peas? And that's a bit of a nightmare. And I'd have loved more onion in it, but you've already asked for it without peas. And if you're British, that means you can't ask for it without, you can annoy them once by asking for what you're buying to be what you want. But if you're British, you can't ask for 2 things. And plus, it's too bloody expensive. And of course, I would have been living in Birmingham at this point. I would have been, well, very specifically, I would have been in the flat over the showrooms. And at that time, I became quite a regular visitor to the Wing Yip outlet in Birmingham. And the old Chinese chicken curry was the first thing I thought, I wonder if I can do this. And of course, in those days, the internet was in its infancy, darlings. It's not like you could jump onto YouTube and just get a recipe. But yeah, I went to Wing Yip and I found the stuff that the restaurants use, and I started making my own, and I thought it was just fabulous, and I still do. It's one of those things that I could actually eat every night if I had to, and I wouldn't, begin hating life. Oh dear. Any van news? Asked Peter P. Right, yeah, the van that I settled on as being the best one to buy, and this isn't for me, it's for the restaurant, but I have the responsibility of buying it. The one I wanted to buy, I was going to go and buy it, rang up, and it was sold. I found another nice looking one today, a Mercedes. The problem is the budget I've got to work with and the brief I've got for the van means that you've kind of got to take what's going, and it doesn't want to spend more than 3.5 grand because, you know, he's down to his last 10 million in the bank. So why would he want to spend more than 3.5 grand? So whatever you buy is going to be a heaving munter of a shed, isn't it? I mean, bloody hell, 3.5 grand for a van. You're not going to get something below 150,000 miles, and it's going to look as if it's been driven by Stevie Wonder around a bloody dodgem car track. But there you go. I found a Merc that looks all right. So found that tonight. I'll give it a ring in the morning. It's really awkward buying a car on behalf of somebody else, because I can't, you know, if I want to buy a car, then I decide what I'm looking for, find the best example that I can find, go there, buy it, you know, negotiate, check it, all right, buy it, job done. Doing it this way is a nightmare. You know, I go through and I find however many, and I send them to Bish, and he says, yeah, maybe this one, this one, this one. And then he said, I knew he'd say this, ring them up and find out what the best price is. And I can't get across to him that, Bish, you're looking for a crew van, i.e. a 5-seater van, but not a big one, not a transit size one. It's got to be smaller than that. So that already makes it as rare as hen's teeth. And then, you know, add in a budget limitation. And I can't kind of get across to him that these are like rocking horse shit. And you've just got to, plus, you're not going to get a nice one. So there's no point in arsing about trying to be overly choosy and anything like that. You know, get the most likely candidate, except it's going to be a shed, and just go and bloody buy it. So, I mean, if he just gave me 3.5 grand and said, go and buy me a van, not a problem, I'd do it. But I have to go through all of this crap, and it ends up nothing being. I've been trying to buy an S-Max. I've been trying to buy an S-Max for a year for the firm. And I keep finding these absolutely cracking examples. Hello, the neighbours home. What are they doing? Dirty stopouts. I keep finding these cracking examples, and nothing ever gets bought. It's very frustrating. Have you tried mustard special yogurt, Bertie? No, I haven't. I mean, I dread to think what are they doing? They're parked right outside my kitchen window. Oh, I see. She's getting out, is she? Oh, she must be getting out because she can't get out once they've parked up. Garden news, by the way, there is no garden news. I've whacked it on the company. Know what they're doing. Oh, no idea. I've whacked it on the company, and there's still no garden news, and the garden is looking horrendous. I'm really starting to get a bit concerned about it now. What we were talking about? Oh, mustard special yogurt. Well, no, I haven't tried it. Partly because mustard special yogurt sounds, you know, like it could be a metaphor for something that I don't even want to think about. And secondly, even if it was an actual special yogurt, I don't eat yogurt because dairy, you know. So no, it's the quick and easy answer to that. Sophie's just said, I just had a bite of curry. I've made some, but Neil's not back until 1. Oh, bless you. Are you waiting for him? Hello, everyone, etc., says Captain Mustard. Magic Lady says, hi, everyone. And I can't remember who Magic Lady is, if indeed we have had the pleasure of her company before. But welcome, Magic Lady. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and Denise 7. Oh, all of these lovely names. Lovely, lovely names. Do you usually drink white wine? And if so, why? Good question, Denise. Yes, I do usually drink white wine if it's after 11 o'clock at night. And the reason why is it contains alcohol and it tastes nice. And I like things that taste nice, and I like things that contain alcohol because they get me drunk. And I enjoy being drunk very much indeed. I have fabulous ideas. I tell people the truth, which is admittedly not always a good thing. And I find almost everything funny, and I sleep really well. So those are all nice things. If you mean why do I drink white wine as opposed to red, because red wine I'm allergic to it. It's contraindicated in terms of my malignant hyperpyrexia. So red wine is a no-go. But a really good white wine is a fantastic thing, and I enjoy it very much. I've not always been a wine drinker, like most people. I started out on beer and cider and such things, but as you get older, your palate develops, does it not? I had a long and deep love affair with vodka and tonic, but I've covered that before, and the reasons why I thought it would be a jolly good idea to give it up before I did the full Keith Floyd. And I settled on a nice slurp of white wine, which I know a little bit about now, and I find it tremendously enjoyable. And it hits that sweet spot in between not being sober and not being horrifically drunk, where bad things happen, like you ruin your liver and you propose to somebody that you didn't mean to propose to. With just the amount of nice white wine, you only ever propose to people that you would be very happy indeed to marry. And that's a nice thing. There's no fun, darlings, in getting up with a raving hangover and thinking, I wonder what I did last night, and looking at your messages and realizing that you proposed to somebody that you really don't want to marry at all. Whereas with white wine, you wake up feeling fresh as a daisy, and you skip down the stairs. You put the coffee on with a song in your heart and joy in your eyes. You put a slice of bread in the toaster, thinking I'll have a lovely slice of toast for my breakfast, lavishly spread with just the right amount of too much butter. And you look at your messages and you think, I remember this because I was drinking wine and I wasn't too drunk. And I proposed to Bernard. Dear old Bernard. And that gives me a sense of continuity because, I propose to Bernard most nights. It's a very safe thing to do. She never takes any notice of it. Bless her. So there we are. That's the answer to that. The M11 says, lovely curry for Neil to arrive home to. Lucky boy Neil. He is a lucky boy, isn't he? And Sophie says it's a jalfrezi and it's bloody hot. Prince of Darkness is here and says, hello, my children. There will be lots of fragrant trumps tonight then, Sophie, says the M11. Dear. Make him have a bath and then put his tea on when he's on the way. Say, hang on. What? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Sophie's going to make him have a bath and put his tea on when he's on the way. There we are. Mustard, says Andrew. Bertie will be up for a ride on the canoe like how you mentioned in your live. Right. I don't know what he mentioned in the live. Right. I've just had a thought. Something about the way that was phrased has just reminded me of something that Mustard wanted to do with a trailer once before. So let me clarify. I'm quite happy to have a paddle in the canoe. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not happy to have a ride on the canoe, as in while it's on the trailer, if that's what he's thinking of. And if I know Mustard, it probably will be. Oh, good, says Mustard. Bertie will enjoy being strapped in. Oh, Christ almighty, strapped to the roof of Fred the Shed in a canoe. Is that what he's suggesting? Dear God. Don't forget the high vis, Mustard, says Andrew. Remember OHS practices, the Office of Health and Safety. And safety goggles. Should be good for a few laps around the local roundabout. I bloody knew it. Is that what he was talking about? I thought it might be on the trailer because when he had the trailer before with Eric, he was always on about me getting in the trailer and him taking me for a ride. And I managed to get away with it. And when I saw when he sent me the picture when it came in, and the trailer and the canoe's on this bloody trailer, I thought, oh God, I know what he's going to be thinking. But it's worse than that. He wants to strap it to Fred the Shed's roof and then put me on it. Well, actually, I wouldn't mind that because, I mean, it's Fred the Shed. So it's not going to start. And if it does start, it'll break down within 5 yards. How much harm could I come to? Jesus Christ of Naz, which could be short for Nazareth, or could be a reference to Prince Nazim Hamed, says, hello, my children. Well, hello, Jesus el Savior Christ of indeed Naz. Sorry, Bertie, says Andrew, I forgot that you don't partake in the consumption of lactic-based products. Quite right, too. John Stoodley is with us to say, hey, Boaty, hey, chat, a flying visit. I'm off to bed. Well, good night, John. Thank you for popping in. Have a safe and peaceful night, a good sleep, and keep those hands above the blankets, you naughty Joseph Stalin lookalike you. You can have the apple cider that's in your fridge, says Sophie. Oh, thank you, Sophie. That's very kind. If we have a nice hot day, I might just do exactly that. Boaty, have you seen the moon tonight? It's amazing. I don't think I have. I'll go and have a look. Where is it? Is it out the front? It really is amazing. I'm going to take a photograph. Well, I tell you what, I'm really glad I did that. And thank you very much, Ed, because for pointing that out. That was beautiful. Right, those of you who've been here and know the layout of the cottage, you know that my front door is there leading out to pole position. And if I open my front door, then the moon is almost directly opposite, directly over Sheepfield, and sheep are back in Sheepfield at the moment, which is lovely, sheep and the lambs. And it's a stunning moon. It's quite, it's very clear here in the Peak District tonight. The moon is very large, very full, quite orange. You can clearly see the indentations and the shaded parts of the striations and whatnot on there. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And as I was taking the picture, I actually wish I'd taken a video Actually, I might go and take a video, because the sheep were bleating as I was looking at this picture of the moon and the incredible tranquility, and that was lovely. In fact, I will go and take a video, and hopefully the sheep will bleat again. Bear with me. Oh, better be quiet. You know, the neighbours don't like it if I go outside at this time of night. Okay, well, that was very slightly awkward. Not sure if I was seen or not. But just as I was doing that little snippet of video there, and bear in mind it is just gone midnight, so, you know, really quite late, a car stopped on the main road and they were dropping somebody off, another one of the neighbours. I don't have many neighbours, darlings. Again, those who know where I am or who've been here, you will know that this thing, bottom row, it consists of a row of 5 cottages. If you didn't know, then the history is that up here on top of the hill, there used to be a monastery and nothing else. So you had the monastery, which was that away on the very peak of the hill. Ironically, monasteries used to be built in sort of strategic positions like castles on tops of hills and whatnot. You know, the monks must have been worried about attack. And this little row of cottages here, which are many, many, like 6 or 7 centuries old, these were the monastery cottages. These were attached to the monastery, not literally perhaps, but you know what I mean. And of course, in those days, there was nothing else here. It was just a hill in the middle of nowhere with a monastery and this row of cottages with cellars underneath, which have been sealed up. And we try not to think about how many bodies are actually buried down there, that kind of thing. So it's not like I have many neighbours, but it's just sod's law. The car pulled up on the main road. One of the neighbours jumped out. Must have been one of the, you know, relatively adult kids of one of the neighbours being one of the 4 neighbours being dropped off. And there's me standing up my doorway filming, and it looks as if I'm bloody filming them or spying on the neighbours or something, not just getting a nice little video of the view of the moon over the field of sheep. But there we are. There we are. I'm sure all of the locals think I'm bloody weird anyway. I don't really, I mean, I'm on decent terms with all of the neighbours, even the one that next door here that I fell out with. We made it up and he gave me lots of booze because he wasn't being disturbed anymore. The only one I'm close with is Nicky Nunu, that side. So I'm sure they'll think I'm a bit bloody weird, but no, well, what the hell? Who cares, eh? Who cares? So if those photos and video are any good, I will put them in the Facebook group, Tomato Darlings, Boaty's World on Facebook. You'd be mad not to be a member of it. It's amazing, you know, if you've got relatively low expectations. But it is a stunning moon, and I would urge you all to go out and enjoy a moment of serenity while you also have a look at the moon and, you know, your neighbours arriving back from parties and things. Ed Usher says, I've heard that kids these days are doing a thing called chugging. This entails popping a what? Oh, God. What? Oh, dear God. I can't read that out. Oh, trust me, I'm a doctor, says Captain Mustard. Right, I obviously missed a lot on a live stream or a video or something. That was a wonderful answer to the wine question. Thank you, says the lovely Denise. Well, you're more than welcome. Wow, I can see the moon from here too, says Mustard. Is it the same one, I wonder? Don't get any flies in your teeth, Boaty, says Barry Scratter. Yeah. Don't talk to me about teeth at the moment. Oh dear. I've got raving toothache. No, that's not true. I haven't got raving toothache. I've got mild discomfort around two teeth. That's not the problem. The reason I've got mild discomfort is the bastards are falling out. There's nothing wrong with them. They're perfectly good teeth, and yet they're falling out. Most annoying. They seem to go from suspect to on the verge ever so quickly. And funnily enough, they're the same teeth either side of my mouth. And they're all properly wibbly and wobbly. And they're just at that awkward stage where, and trust me, I'm an expert at losing teeth now. You know, in all of my years, because I was good and I looked after my teeth, I've never had a single filling, never had a problem with my teeth until whatever it was 2 years ago, when whatever happened, and suddenly everything started going mad. And since then, I've become an expert. So I can track the progress of the tooth loss. And these two are at that awkward stage where they are wibbly wobbly and painful, and it makes eating really difficult. You have to try and honestly, don't get old, darlings. Well, actually, do get old, because the alternative is even worse. But you have to try and eat with specific areas of your mouth. It's really awkward. I mean, the plus side is that when the bastards do actually fall out, then it's actually almost a relief, because although you look even more like a crack den addict, at least you can have a chomp on something without being in all sorts of pain. Although, of course, the worry is, darlings, that when they've all gone, what am I going to do? Live on bleeding soup? Because I haven't got a dentist. You try getting an NHS dentist. So it's not like I can get a nice set of dentures. And the only vague plan I've got in the back of my mind is to try and somehow become rich and successful again, so that I can sod off to wherever, or even, go locally and get a beautiful set of implants. And then all of my troubles will be over. Otherwise, I'm going to spend the rest of my life living on bleeding soup and looking like that. Oh, God, I don't even want to think about it. Oh, I used to be handsome, and look at me now. It's all falling apart, darlings. It's all falling apart. Oh, if only OnlyFans had been a thing when I was young and beautiful, then I could have made my fortune. And when my body started falling apart, it wouldn't matter. I could just go to some highly paid clinician and have some proper gnashers put in and have this, whatever the bloody hell this is, lopped off. And, well, nothing else really. I wouldn't go down the plastic surgery route. I believe in growing old relatively gracefully, but there are limits. I mean, I knew I was going to get a grey pube. That hasn't happened yet, but it's bound to. I knew I was going to get grey hair up here. That has happened. I knew my nostril hair would accelerate. I can deal with that. I've got a thing. I knew my ear hair would develop. Again, same thing will do that too. But bloody hell, teeth falling out when you're skinned. It happened to the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty. Now, unlike me, Mrs. Boaty did not have good teeth. I've got great teeth, or I had great teeth, which sounds ironic, I know, but genuinely, my teeth have always been in great condition. Never needed a filling, nothing like that. Never had a problem till the bugger started fucking off. Mrs. Boaty was born with awful teeth. Not awful in the fact that they were, uh, disfigured or anything like that. They weren't. They just weren't very good soldiers, and they kind of crumbled and gave up the ghost. And I remember when Mrs. Boaty lost her first visible tooth. Um, she was beside herself for like 3 days. And that was the 3 days that it took for the tooth to bugger off and for her appointment at a dentist to come around, whereby she had an implant put in to replace it. But for those 3 days, she was inconsolable. And I think, bloody hell, woman, 3 days with a visible gap. Tried 2 years and the rest of my bleeding life. Honest to God, didn't know she was born. In fact, looking back, I think one of the bravest things that I've ever done, or possibly the most stupid, was to actually start a YouTube channel at exactly the same time that my teeth started falling out. And I had lost the first one when I started the channel. So, oh God, I wish I'd done it sooner. Hey ho. I mean, these are the things that happen when you get older, isn't it? I mean, there's a guy in Parliament at the moment, another one of the MPs who's standing down. He had sepsis, bless him. And he had to have both of his hands and both of his feet amputated. And you have to kind of think about things like that. So when when you wake up and you realize that another tooth or teeth is on its way, and you just want to howl and wail. Excuse me. Is there one more? Maybe not. You just want to howl and wail with the unfairness of it all. You have to think, well, what about the poor souls who have lost their hands or their feet or their arms or anything? What are you complaining about, you big fat idiot? You've just lost a couple of teeth. And it wouldn't be a problem if you hadn't made such bad life decisions. If you still had money sitting in the bank, wouldn't ever been a problem at all. You'd have just gone to the dentist, had some implants put in, and your teeth would have been better than before. And, for the first time in your life, you would have had perfect teeth, because as much as my teeth have always been good and strong and wonderful and not in need of filling, then they were crooked in places. And for those who don't know, the reason that was never sorted out when I was a kid, I've got MH. I can't have an anesthetic unless it's a life or death situation. So they weren't going to bugger about with my teeth. And the fact that my teeth are a little bit all over the place is the reason why they've all started to fall out now. That and just naturally getting older and your gums receding. The fact that I smoke, no doubt, doesn't help. All of that kind of thing. So, sometimes you just have to put your big boy pants on and think, well, it could be a lot worse. Look at that supersized McDonald's guy, bless him, dying of complications of cancer. And how many of my friends have I lost in the last few days? I've lost a couple of teeth. Get over yourself. You're healthy, you're happy, you've got an amazing life. Be grateful. Honestly. Now then, where did I get to? I just injured myself, says the M11, trying to see the amazing moon. It's nowhere to be seen. How did you manage that? Oh, hello. Oh. Mr. Stephen Paddy from Port Sunlight in the Whittle, the Leisure Peninsula, has got some interesting observations on myself and Mustard sailing the canoe on the wide blue ocean. I can touch the moon from my kitchen window, says Matron, if I lean out far enough. It would be a fun video. It would indeed be a fun video with us out on the canoe. I can't see the moon here either, says Paddy Scrotter. Good evening, Vicar, says Stephen S. Paul. It's red wine time, says Jimmy Quinn. Enjoy. Tall man worrying sheep by moonlight. That'd be a good title for a video. I think it's too cloudy here to see the moon, says the M11. Don't go out on moors. I love the moors at night, says M11. It's fabulous up here. It is fabulous up here. Yeah. And this summer, I'm going to go out for some midnight drives. I'm going to get home from work, do so, or maybe even, maybe do it on the way home from work, come the long way round home from work, take some gear with me, do a bit of filming, maybe take a couple of glasses of wine and have my first. Oh, no, because then I have to get back for the live streams, don't I? Oh, well, maybe I could combine the two. Maybe I could actually do, when we get to the real height of summer, then maybe I can go somewhere beautiful in the peak and do the live stream somewhere outside in the middle of nowhere in the peak in the inky still blackness. That would be fun, wouldn't it? That would be fun. Doing a live stream from Longston Edge where I did the Land Rover lunch. Oh, that would be amazing. Let's do that. Oh, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? Oh dear. I saw the moon on the TV last night on the FL broadcast. Very full moon, says Andrew. Indeed. And Barry says, I've done loads of memorable night walks. I've never done one. Perhaps I should. Oh, the mystery of Windy Bottom deepens, says Andrew. Monastery, says Barry Scratter. God, no wonder you have ghosts. Oh, honestly, the history of these cottages, it would amaze you. It would amaze you. I probably don't know all of the stories. I know a lot of them. There've been a lot of, oh God, I won't even tell you. I started telling Neil about it on Monday night when he was staying here the night, and the look of panic in his eyes, thought I'd better shut up before I tell him everything. He won't get a wink of sleep, bless him. Whereas Soph was fine with it, not a problem. Oh, they won't bother me. I'm okay with ghosts. I've just been out dancing naked while looking at the moon, says Jimmy F500. Captain Mustard says, have you ever considered that your teeth might all be okay had you not avoided milk? Well, no, I haven't, Mustard, because as I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with my teeth. Even when they've fallen out, then you can see that they are in perfect condition. So it's got nothing to do with a lack of calcium, nothing at all. And certainly through my, obviously throughout my athletic career, then my intake of everything was monitored on a very careful basis. And if anything was lacking in my diet, then I had to take supplements of this, that, and the other. Oh God, B12 injections and all of that sort of thing. So no, it's got nothing to do with the lack of milk. It's got to do with overcrowding, receding gums, and probably smoking. I've been there with the teeth, making it painful to eat, says Barry Scrotter. When all the teeth have gone, it's bright white rockstar teeth time. I can't wait for that. When Mustard is Prime Minister, he'll sort your teeth out for you, Bertie, says Andrew. Oh, I wish. Oh, Jimmy F500, yeah, Pam Ayres. I wish I'd looked after my teeth. I love Pam Ayres. I love Pam Ayres. Love her dearly. Oh, hello. Sharon Jojo says, you're still handsome. Bless you, Boaty. Oh, and aren't you a blessed puppet for saying so? Mr. Stephen Paddy says, you could always use vampire plastic teeth. I might do exactly that. Boaty, you can get some teeth from Steptoe and Son, says Jimmy Quinn. Well, they're both dead. Surely the NHS can refer you if your teeth is that bad, says Betty Scratter. Yeah, but that would mean getting an appointment, and there's a 7-year waiting list. Harold, you dirty old man. I was missing a front tooth for 2 years, says Betty Scratter. I hated it every minute. I've got terrible teeth, says the M11, but grateful nothing is too noticeable yet. When my first child was born 39 years ago, I had a big gap in my front teeth. So all the photos of me with my newborn have me with, on to the next message, a weird closed mouth smile, which isn't natural when you have teeth as big as mine. Well, I feel that pain. That's what screwed up my teeth, says Andrew. Smoking and too many sweets when I was young. Barbara had a full dental examination back in the 70s. She was only 80. Oh, bloody hell. Ed, I've got to stop reading your messages. I get halfway, read the second half, and think, I can't read that out. Stephen S. Paul says, I'm 80 years old and I have not one grey hair, not one wrinkle, 20/20 vision. I'm just nicely put together. It helps that I come from a family of models. Funny how that works, indeed. Jimmy Quinn says, Shane McGowan just got new teeth before he died. Right, right to his wife. She might send them to you. Jimmy, that's actually really funny. Oh, dear. Bad Book says Craig, the MP who lost his limbs to sepsis, is only stepping down as MP because Sunak called the election before he's fully recovered. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? That's a shame. I wonder, I would love to know what the reasons behind calling a relatively early election are. There's lots of theories flying around. But I mean, everybody assumed he was, that it was going to be an autumn job. And that they were going to hold on as long as possible. There'll be very good reasons why he called it early and why he called it on relatively short notice. And I'd love to know what they are. That sort of thing is fascinating. I mean, is there anybody who thinks that it can be anything other than a Labour landslide? Surely it's got to be 1997 all over again, hasn't it? Can it possibly go any other way? Can anybody see a way that that could happen? I mean, I know that the current phrase in use in the Labour Party is carrying a Ming vase across an ice rink. And that's why it's generally accepted that Keir Starmer over the last couple of days has sounded hesitant, nervous. And that's what they say. They say he's carrying a Ming vase across an ice rink. He's got this incredible lead in the opinion polls. And the fear is that something will be said or done that's going to bugger it all up. Now, an interesting little conspiracy theory that I heard on Radio 4 today was that in the week 2 and 3 of the election, then both parties will have, not might have, will have, they will have some ammunition stored up. Something that's been leaked from the other side, a covert recording of something that wasn't supposed to be recorded. And that will be unleashed in the dirty. Apparently, weeks 2 to 3 are the dirty tricks weeks, and apparently, both parties will have a stash of dirty tricks ammunition to unleash. And there is a conspiracy theory doing the rounds that the reason for the early election is is that the Conservatives have got something that is dynamite, absolute dynamite, in the dirty tricks department. And I've heard conjecture that it is a leaked recording of something or other, but it is just absolute conjecture and probably tosh. But it's interesting to think about, isn't it? That might make a good video, says Andrew. Read the history of Windy Bottom and the surrounds. I have thought about that. In fact, I've got, having had a bit of a rest on the video front, I've got quite a few ideas for videos knocking around at the moment that I'm really rather looking forward to doing. And I'm planning over the summer to do a lot more around here, around the cottage itself, my history with it, the longer history of the cottage and the surrounding areas. I have started doing some research into it. It's quite interesting, and I've got other ideas as well with other places. I had naughty times on the moors at night, says the M11. That was great. Barry Scrotter once saw a bloke in broad daylight driving naked. That's quite cool. Midnight live stream in the hills. Try to avoid doggers. Oh, I could do it at Shillitoe Woods, couldn't I? Bloody hell. Oh, hello. Simone is here. Says good morning. That's nice. The monastery, says Sherry. Sorry, it was very interesting. I wouldn't cheat on you for many people, but I did yesterday with President Trump. Oh, well, that's all right. He'll pay you a couple of $100,000 to keep you quiet. Smoking ruined my teeth too, says Simone. Smoke free for a decade now. Good for you. And Sherry comes back. I cut myself off again. I had to listen to his rally in the Bronx, New York. It's very inspiring, and he's the person that keeps me going in terms of a real future. It's so sad what's happened here. And I wanted to ask you, how many members do you actually have? Right, members. What? Like, well, I've only got one member, if that's what you mean. Or do you mean channel members? I haven't checked channel members recently. But the American situation is going to become very interesting very soon, because we are now within 6 months of the American presidential election, which is taking place on November the 5th. Everything takes a lot longer in America. Certainly, I've been chatting with a couple of my American friends today, and they're amazed that here in the UK, we can suddenly announce a general election and it will take place within 6 weeks. Whereas for them, the build-up takes the best part of a year. But yeah, it's a very interesting political situation in America. There's a concept going on at the moment called the bedwetters, because it's generally accepted that Biden is in a very perilous state. And the people that are known as the bedwetters, who are the people who are saying things which could potentially undermine him, are being told to give their heads a wobble and get on board, because Biden's looking as if he could lose, and lose big style. And I quite enjoyed hearing that, because the term bedwetting or wetting does have some political history here in the UK as well. Because, of course, dear old Maggie, Margaret Thatcher, anybody who disagreed with her, she called them the wetties, and she had no time for them at all. The M11 says, I started watching the Jennifer Patterson thing you put up earlier whilst using the lavatorial facilities. Very interesting. I shall continue my viewing on my next trip down Browntown. God. On a serious note, as I said to you the other night, the complete Two Fat Ladies is up now. On my Two Fat Ladies playlist, there is every episode that was ever recorded. All of series 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Series 4 isn't complete because after filming episode 4 of series 4, Jennifer was unexpectedly taken ill, taken to hospital. Lung cancer was diagnosed. She was a very heavy smoker, and she didn't last long after that, bless her. Didn't last long at all. So Two Fat Ladies was cut short. But as I always planned, after putting up the last episode ever recorded, which was called A Day at the Races, and was actually one of the best episodes. Then I've put up the program that was a kind of obituary in film to Jennifer Patterson, and told the story of her life before she became one of the two fat ladies. And if you've not watched any of the others, if you've got no interest in cooking, watch that film. It's called Jennifer Patterson, One Fat Lady, One Large Life, an obituary in film. It went up earlier today. Seriously, do watch it. She was an amazing woman. She led a fascinating life. It's not too long, it's 39 minutes. And I think I can promise that you won't regret it. And you might even, if you're not into the two fat ladies, and I don't mean that in a sexual way, but if you're not into cooking or you never watched the two fat ladies, if you watch that program, you might then want to watch, you know, a few of the episodes of the two fat ladies, because forget about cooking. I mean, the cooking is interesting. It's I make no secret, it was Keith Floyd and the two fat ladies who got me into my love for food, my love for cooking. But the two fat ladies were groundbreaking in terms of a television program. They broke every rule. They did things their own way, and it's just must watch. It's like it's must watch in the way that Clarkson's Farm is must watch, except it's not contrived. It's totally natural, and it's just a joy. Honestly, it is just a joy. So that playlist is now complete. Everything is now up there. I can't add anything more to it because there's nothing more to add. And I will add, apropos of nothing, all of those videos, all of those two fat ladies videos, every single one of them, they're all copyrighted. So I'm allowed to upload them, but I cannot monetize them. So there is no gain. And I've put every single one of those videos up there. It took a lot of time to source them. I've edited every one of them because they were all in raw footage. I've improved the quality where I can. I've put hours and hours and hours into those. They're on a playlist. They're in chronological order. I managed to track down the obituary program in good enough quality to get it up there. I've put so much of my time into this, and I don't earn a single penny from it. I did it because it's something that I love. I wanted, there was nowhere else on YouTube can you just jump onto a playlist and watch every episode in chronological order, properly re-put together, where, because some of them are only available in parts here and there on different sites. And so to be able to watch every episode in its entirety in chronological order with the obituary program, mine is the only channel you can do that on. And I don't earn a single penny from it. But I did it because I love it, and I thought some of you might love it too. And a lot of people do. A lot of those videos have got really, really, really good views, which is ironic because, you know, the views that they've got, I would earn really good money from, except that I can't earn any money from them. But what the hell? You know, I did it because I wanted them to be there for people like me. And honestly, if you've not watched them, at least watch one of them. Because if you've got no interest in food, or no interest in fat ladies or whatever, then honestly, they might just touch your heart. Or they might not, I suppose. I'll be voting for Reform UK, says Ed Usher, and you probably won't be alone. Peter P says, when you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go Brown Town. Oh, and the M11 has picked up on the members thing, and yes, indeed, just the one. Boaty the Octopus, says Andrew. The main theory for a snap election, says Bad Books, is letters were in for a vote of no confidence in Sunak. Ah, I haven't heard that one. I hadn't heard that one. It's fairly common knowledge that the letters would be in after the election, win or lose, but I hadn't heard that they were going in before. In fact, I'm amazed at that because a change, well, actually, maybe I'm not amazed. Maybe that makes sense because think about it. There've been so many changes of leader. They had 3 different leaders and thus prime ministers in 2 months, which is mad. It's a mad statistic, but it's true because you had Bojo, you had Liz Truss and Rishi, and they were all prime minister within 2 months of each other, which is insane. So you'd think that the last thing the Conservatives could risk would be yet another change of leader. But think that through. They're going to lose the election anyway. Why not have a roll of the dice and put in some amazingly charismatic leader before the election? And it would be, okay, if I had to guess, who would they put in as leader before an election? Well, it could only be one of 2 people. It would have to be Boris Johnson or David Cameron. And that could have been a roll of the dice that could have paid off. So, yeah, that does make sense now. Interesting. I hope more comes out about that. That would be interesting to learn the history of the local area, says Andrew. It would. It really would. I've been a Tory member for 40 years, says Ed Usher, but the Conservatives have lost the plot. The midnight live stream is a great idea, but what about lighting, says Mustard? Well, I would use the car headlights. Simple. Boaty telling ghostly stories by a fire. The Bronx is beautiful at this time of year, says Stephen Espo. Diddly-do. Rishi Sunak is a bedwetter. Oh dear. It could be worse, Boaty, says Stephen Espo. You could be shitting yourself daily like the bathhouse Biden. Excuse me. Andrew, I knew that was what you were thinking about. Bertie, Andrew wants to relaunch some cooking shows, and his idea is that I relaunch the Keith Floyd shows, and that would work. And he would like Trace and Emma to be the 2 ample-bosomed ladies. And he says, these are the new cooking shows I want to see. Boaty did it for the love of 2 fat ladies, Stephen Espo. I really did. I really did. Did you ever watch How Feed the Same Pet, a TV series started in the 80s about British builders? I've watched every second of it, and I actually own the How Feed the Same box set digital equivalent on Apple iTunes thing. I love How Feed the Same Pet. One of the best things that's ever been on telly. I know every word of every script, and it's too late to start talking about it now. So let's talk about Our Feed the Same Pet in the next one, because it is time to say goodnight, darlings. It is time to say goodnight. Let's film a cooking video for YouTube or do a live, and that's aimed at Matron. You and I ballsing it up, cooking a complicated recipe in your kitchen. Matron. Oh, God, in just our underwear and aprons. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. My mum loved Jimmy Nail. Right, that is it, darlings. I've pretty much caught up with the comments. It's 1:15. It's 1:15 on a Friday night. I'm ready. Well, I'm not quite ready for bed, but I'm ready to get my Chinese chicken curry made and get myself outside of that. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to my lunch tomorrow, those lovely chicken wings. So thank you for your company tonight. I'm grateful for you all for staying up so late. And please have yourselves a safe and peaceful night. You might want to think about joining me again tomorrow. It'll be 11:30 again, Saturday Night Live. But before me, there will be Tracy and Emmels are co-hosting, I think, Tracy's Live on Twitch. And Mustard might do one as well for all that I know. And do support them. They're splendid people, valued part of our community. I love them, and so do you. But yeah, if you're still awake and relatively compass mentis at 11:30, I'll be here to bore you to tears with more stories of my day, and we can catch up on whatever the news of the day is. And I cannot wait. So there we are. So yeah. Sleep well. Have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you possibly can tomorrow. Take every little bit of joy that you can from it, anywhere and anyhow that you possibly can. Take great care of yourselves, those that you love and who love you. And hopefully, I will see you, lovely people, tomorrow night. But you, and indeed, a bedwetting bosh.